So, the group stage for the Concacaf World Cup Qualifying is finally over. Well, the final round of it. And of course, in our group with Curaçao, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and Bermuda, it is Curaçao, yes, Curaçao, who have gone through to get automatic qualification into the World Cup. So congratulations to Curaçao. I mean, I don't think anybody would have predicted it. We knew that Curaçao was a dark horse within this group. Because we knew that they brought in these players from, they call them the Dutch rejects or whatever, but nevertheless, however, they've done it. They've managed to become the smallest population country to qualify for the World Cup in history. And how fitting is it that they did it in a group with Trinidad and Tobago, one of the countries that formerly was the smallest country back in 2006. Of course, a record that was broken by Iceland, and then I believe this round's by Cape Verde, and now Curaçao with their population of 155,000 people, which I learned last night. But so big up Curaçao. You really can't hate on them. Although as somebody who wanted obviously Trinidad to win and then Jamaica to qualify, if Trinidad didn't, you really can't be too vexed with Curaçao. You have to be happy for them. I find it so difficult to be mad at a country for qualifying for the World Cup. Club football, you could get away because you don't like Man United, I don't like Man U, I don't like Arsenal, but to dislike a country, I find, especially in this manner where you have like history being made and you're seeing how happy they are and stuff, it's so difficult to be disappointed, and you have to be happy for Curaçao, and they deserve it. They went the entire group stage unbeaten. They beat Jamaica. They demolished Bermuda. They drew with Trinidad and Tobago twice. They did what they needed to do, and we could safely say that they deserved to advance automatically, at least into the World Cup. So it'll be interesting to see how they perform on the World Cup. They have an experienced manager in Advocat, and they have good players as well. Let's see if they're able to bring in some other ones. Who knows, right? The other automatic qualifiers from CONCACAF, of course, we have Haiti, which is another Caribbean country. So 2 Caribbean countries already secured into the World Cup. Haiti, we know Haiti have been through it throughout their entire history, and you could only hope that this will kind of raise the spirits of the country. I don't expect them to win the World Cup. Well, boy, that will be something, but just the fact that they made it kind of gives their country something to smile about, something to celebrate after all the disasters and everything that Haiti has gone through. Is really a nice time, an uplifting time for Haitians. And of course, the final team getting automatic qualification from CONCACAF, none other than Panama. Panama was in the World Cup, I believe, in 2018, and I can't remember the other ones, but yeah, 2018, because I remember they played England. But they're back. They are a country who have been doing well football-wise. I mean, to qualify for the World Cup so often in the recent past, and well into this time, you have to give them their kudos. So big up to Panama. Of course, we mentioned that the top 2 second best finishers in the group will get through to go to the intercontinental playoffs in March. So that will be Jamaica, of course, who finished second in our group, and Suriname, who actually edged out Honduras. I believe it was on goal difference because they both finished on 9 points. But I think Suriname just edged them out. So actually, if Suriname and Jamaica qualify, I think 2 CONCACAF teams could qualify out of the continental playoff. Then we'll actually have 4 Caribbean countries in the World Cup, which would be a first, I guess. So that's pretty amazing. For the Jamaicans, that's a tough one to take. When we were at the stadium for the Trinidad and Tobago game, Jamaica got a penalty in the last minute against Curaçao, and you're thinking to yourself, this is it, written in the stars. Some superstar to come up and take it. Dujon Richards whisper to come on, and because he won the penalty, and then VAR, and that's just the story of football these days. VAR, it could bring you the height of joy, but it could also bring you the lowest of sorrows. And I think that's what went on for Jamaica yesterday. They had their chances, Bobby D. Cordova-Reid had a chance to put away. Kadamatri later on had a chance himself. And, but the sense that I get from most of the Jamaicans is that it's a very disappointing campaign. They believed and they had the confidence that they were going to be that automatic qualifying team. And, because on paper they have the best team. They have access to some of the best players, the likes of Damari Gray, the likes of Bobby D. Cordova-Reid, Isaac Hayden, and then their homegrown players as well have some quality, like Cephas, Kyle Dixon. So, they will be disappointed. They had a very experienced manager as well in Steve McLaren, who has actually now resigned after failing to get that automatic qualification. I think that was coming. I think most Jamaicans are very disappointed with him because they feel as if his tactics were off, if at all, if he had any. Yeah, disappointing for Jamaica. I could understand why they would be so upset because, the kind of talent and quality that they had. And they would have seen this group and thought, yeah, boy, World Cup sure. But nevertheless, they still have an opportunity to qualify, as we said, in the Intercontinental Playoffs in March. Now, that is a very difficult road. You're coming up against teams like in CONMEBOL, that's South America, I believe Asia, and I believe the African Confederation as well. So how easy is that going to be? And then they have to find a new coach who could implement his style or whatever, get to know the players in a relatively short space of time. But they do have enough time. March is, I would say, far enough. What is that, about 4 months, oddly, roughly? It's actually end of March, so let's say 5 months. So they do have some time to kind of, muster together something, but very important. And if Jamaica don't qualify, I really hope that they do. They will be really disappointed knowing that it was almost a route made for them to succeed, which Curaçao took away. The thing about it is, and the frustrating thing as a Trinidad and Tobago fan, is Curaçao didn't beat Trinidad and Tobago in this campaign. We were the only team, well, in this group, we were the only team who actually drew with them twice and arguably should have won the 2 games. The first game here at the Haiti Crawford Stadium, the 0-0, we felt as if we could have won, we should have done better, we had chances to put away. They did too, to be fair, and then 1-1 against Curaçao in Curaçao, where we had chances to put them away, and we definitely should have won that game. Trinidad and Tobago played all the football, but now looking back on it, although we could have won those games, I guess 2 draws against Curaçao actually might not have been bad as results, because we drew, we were unbeaten against the best team in the group, the team that qualified for the World Cup. So just something to keep into consideration when criticizing this team, to show that Curaçao team is actually quality. Like, they are a good team. They seem to know how to get things done, how to get the results. They went to Jamaica, they drew, they played conservative, they won all their home games, they drew all their away games except against Bermuda. So they did it the right way and they got the success that they deserve. So, just to touch on the game yesterday, there was some confusion around the scoreline. 2-2 is the official thing we were hearing when we were in the stadium. There was a confusion with the scoreboard, or you check SofaScore, you check OneFootball, you check Concacaf, it says 2-1. But then when the game was done, the stadium announcer said 2-2. Generally, they do have the correct score because the match commissioner is the one in communication with the stadium announcer. So generally, those scores that come out of there tend to be correct. And so said, that's what it is. So we did draw 2-2 with Bermuda. Dwight rotated the squad. We saw a lot of the younger guys. Nathaniel James starting, Real Gill. Who else came into the squad? Well, Noah Powder came back. I can't remember all of them offhand, but we saw a lot of the young talent. Wayne Frederick came on, had a really good second half. The fact that we drew 2-2 with Bermuda played well, no disrespect to them. Now, although we did indeed use those players and we did indeed need rotation, I still believe that we needed to utilize the likes of Gill and Nathaniel James and Wayne Frederick a bit more throughout the campaign, and not necessarily to start them, but just to get them playing a bit more, coming on later on, just switching it up a little bit. I definitely think that was something that should have been done. I think that's a criticism of Dwight York. But seeing the game yesterday, although they played well, I'm not saying that they didn't play well. I believe that Dwight really was starting our best team, when it had games that mattered. So just in hindsight, because I don't think that if we had started our full strength team against Bermuda at home, we would have drawn 2-2. I definitely think that we would have actually won 4-5, the likes of Spicer, Sealy, Levi would have definitely capitalized on it. Something to consider again when we look back at Dwight's campaign here. He probably really was starting the best team, throughout the campaign. Also, just some shining lights again. Kobe Henry, we mentioned him in the, we were talking about who are the best players for the window so far. I think Kobe Henry has been good. You saw he scored yesterday. Nathaniel James with a really good goal, a good performance. Gill looked lively as well. Molino, of course, on his last game. Didn't get to score assists, but he did have a good game, a nice send-off along with Marvin Phillips. Once again, all the best to you guys and thanks for your service to the country. So it's going to be an interesting World Cup. It's going to be interesting to see those playoffs with Jamaica, to see how they do. We'll be covering that, because that's the closest to home team. Actually, Suriname is close as well, that we have any playoff, but it'll be interesting to see how those things play out and to see who Jamaica hire and how they prepare for that intercontinental playoff. But nevertheless, it was a good run. We want to thank all of you guys for watching and interacting, commenting, sharing, being involved throughout this journey. We've had a lot of fun. On behalf of myself, Jeremy, Renee, Fletcher, CJ, and even the likes of Scully and Levi, we are biased. We really thank you for all the support. It's been a nice journey. We've built a nice camaraderie, on the internet space, as well as when you go to the games, people recognize you, you have banter, we're building a community, and we just hope that it could continue. Although the national games are stopping, we will continue doing content, continue trying to build this community. And of course, when games come around again, we just transition right back into it. So yeah, so just continue to stay engaged. We love it. We love when you all comment. We love the banter, even though we disagree and agree. All of that is part of it, because that's how, that's how conflict arises, and that's how we're able to resolve certain things. So don't forget to subscribe. Like the video, comment, share your thoughts, and the sun really changing up on my boy. Small thing, but yeah, just continue to stay engaged. As I say, like, comment, share, subscribe if you're new, and follow the journey.